Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Roger, aka Rusty Rog, and no, I haven't had a shave either. It's tough in isolation. You don't even think about it, right? Anyway, this is the Canon EOS M6 Mark II, and it has a new firmware update allowing you to finally shoot in 24 FPS and 120 FPS, and I am going to show you how to install it from both a computer and also an iPad. You're going to need a few things. Obviously, you're going to need your memory card. You're going to need a computer that has a card reader built in or an external card reader to plug into your computer. And also, for a bonus, I'm going to show you how you can do it using your iPad. Exciting stuff. Let's get into it. Right, so now that you're on your computer and you've got your memory card inserted, all you need to do is open up your browser. In the Google search, you can just simply type Canon M6 Mark II firmware. I've already got it here because I looked for it before, and this should hopefully take you to the right website, to the Canon website. Make sure it's the right website for your area. I'm in New Zealand, so I've got the New Zealand prefixes there. Once you're on your product page, if you scroll down, you'll see down the bottom is your firmware update file. Simply click on the one that you want, and we want this one here, 1.1.0. Simply click on that. That takes you to the page. Now this has information on what the firmware actually includes, as well as some basic info on installing it. Come down here to download, click on download, and that will start the download, as you can see. Now once that file's downloaded, bring up your download and hit show folder. This should bring up the folder that it has your file. Now we don't need the browser anymore, so let's get rid of that. Hopefully on your computer you have some software to unzip the file. I use a software called pzip, which works very well. You can find that on the Windows App Store. And all I have to do is come down here and click on extract here smart, and that will extract the firmware file. So now I've got a folder here. I can simply click into the folder and you'll find you've got two files. You've got a folder that has PDFs. So in this folder you have PDF instructions in various languages as to how to step-by-step install the firmware. And you also have the firmware file. The only file that you need will be the firmware file itself. So first of all, you're just going to highlight it. You're going to copy it, and then you're going to go to your memory card, which you have inserted. Here's mine here. This is your memory card, and you need to paste it in the root directory. That's this main directory. So simply click anywhere, come down and hit paste, and that should copy across, and there is your file. Once you've done that, simply pop your memory card out of the computer and pop it into your camera. Now if you don't have a memory card reader built into your computer, another way is to simply plug the camera directly into the computer, turn it on, and hopefully EOS Utility will automatically launch. Once that's launched, come down to camera settings, firmware update, and it'll come up and it'll ask you a few things. Checking firmware version. Now this already has the firmware version on it, so it's going to tell me what version I have. Yours may be 1.0.1 or 1.0.0, and all you have to do is click next, and it'll say download firmware update file. Now it says choose the file downloaded. So again, you've already downloaded it, so you hit browse, locate your downloads folder where your file is, double click into it. Here we are, hit open. That's now located the file for the firmware. Hit next, next again. It says once the firmware is copied to the card, the camera's access lamp will go off. Watching the camera screen, operate the camera to continue the firmware update. Now to update your firmware using your iPad, it's very similar to the method you use on the computer. However, you will need either a memory card reader dongle for your iPad or a USB 3.1 powered dongle that you can plug an external memory card reader into. If you've got both of those things or either one of those things, then this will work pretty much the same way it does on the computer, but there are a few tricks that you need to look out for. Open up your browser. I've already searched for it, but search for your Canon M6 Mark II firmware. Visit the website. Now the one trick to this, if you're using the Safari browser, which is the only browser I've tried this on, the website will automatically default to Mac. You don't want this. What you actually want is Windows, because you want the zip file. The file for Mac will only extract on a Mac. It doesn't work on the iPad. So go to Windows, scroll all the way down once again to your firmware version, and simply tap on that. That'll take you once again to the page. Come down, hit download, and hit confirm. And that will now download the firmware file. Once that file's finished downloading, go to your Files app, and there it is in Downloads. Now if you tap on that, it should automatically extract. Go into your folder, there's your firmware file and also the PDF instruction file. And all you have to do is simply take your extracted file and drag it across to your memory card in your memory card reader and let it copy across. And once that's there, you can take out that memory card and put your memory card back into your camera and follow the instructions on the camera. Now on your camera, first thing you need to do is make sure that it is set to M for manual, and in the menu you tap on the firmware, tap on camera, tap on OK. That brings you into the firmware update menu. Once this is loaded, it shows the firmware file. Click on set, then using the wheel tap across to OK, press set again and wait for the firmware to update. When it's completed, the screen will turn off and you can press menu to go back in and check that it's been finalized, and then you can go through and change to your 24 frames per second, or in slow motion 120 frames per second. So there you have it. You too can now shoot in 24 and 120 FPS on your Canon M6 Mark II. Now this tutorial technically can work with other models like the 90D, the M50, other Canon models that share the same menu system. The general process is the same. However, please make sure that you're using the correct firmware file. Look up your specific camera model before you try to follow this tutorial for any other camera, because I don't want you trying to put the wrong firmware on the wrong camera and mucking it all up. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this or gotten anything out of this video, please like and subscribe. And also, if you'd be so kind, there's a couple more videos on the side that would be really good if you watch them too. Thank you very, very much, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now.